Hi everyone and welcome to this technique tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to look at 3 different combinations, and I'll always give you different variations as well in these combos so you can make them your own and dance them the way you like, so it's not tied to music and you can then use the sound that you like and move to it the way you want to. So let's start with the very first combination and let's right away have a look at it before we start. All right, let's start with this very first combination. And just so you know, everything is mirrored, so you can follow me just like I am your personal mirror. So when I place my right leg out, you can move your right leg to the side and just mimic me like this. This way it's the easiest for you to learn. Now, we're gonna start behind the pole in an open stand. So I'm a wider than hip position. Yes, I have this is up to you, but I'm using my right as a dominant arm, so I'm going to have my right hand on like about head height. And the first thing that I do is a little squat. When you go into the squat, try to lift the stilettos off the ground, engaging through the calf when you sit down. The second hand, which means left hand in this case, is going to come about rib cage height, because what I want to do now is I want to engage through my legs and straighten them and use my arms as a little pull to create this jump motion. This looks like this. I'm going to jump and clack. Yeah, so I want to have a moment where I have a small little jump and then clack my platforms together to create this beautiful sound. Yeah, so let me show you one more time. So again, make sure your hand is not too high because then you can go down. So have it a bit lower so you can sit and pull, clack, and land control. So using your arms as well will help you to land with control, so you don't have to be afraid of losing your balance when you do it. So just really use them purposely until you feel stable again before you shift the weight completely back into your legs. Now, once we've done that, we're not gonna end like this standing, but transition to the floor. So it's the same thing, but going one level lower. So it means like we're going to jump and control our way down on the left shin. Okay, and again here, you don't have to be afraid about hurting yourself or like landing too hard because you're using your arms as a pull motion when you land. So the landing happens more likely over your shoe and then onto the knee. And especially if you wear knee pads, it's absolutely soft and you shouldn't feel a thing. So from the bending to pull, clack, releasing and sliding the hands down so you can lean towards your bottom left leg. Now, to make this a bit more dramatic, what I usually do is I use my head even more. So what I mean is when I jump up, so when I go from here, I lift my chin, and when I land, I drop my whole body to the side like it was a super dramatic and high jump. Yes, so from here I jump and let myself go to the side. Yes, this way you can make it a bit more dramatic. Once we're here, to continue, we're going to close the knees together. So my right knee will join my left. Both of my feet go towards the left side, so away from the pole. And now my front leg, which is in this case my left, is going to open to the side like a little lunge. Yes, like opening a book. One more time. So from here, after the landing, we have closing the knees together, shifting the hips a bit up, turning the feet to the side, pushing the left foot into the floor to open into a side lunge. Yes, so you can make this a bit wavier as well. So after you landed, we're going to close and open. Yeah, so move your upper body with it. And then we're going to close again, but this time we're going to sit all the way down. Yes, so that was more like a stylistic thing to make it a bit more dancey. So from closing, turning, opening, closing, sitting down. All right? Now, for this next movement, that is the more technical move of this combination, is this jump. Now, we're gonna do it step by step, just so you can understand what you need to engage and how you can build up to the final jump with open legs. We're not gonna right away start with that one. So, we are having a cup grip position with our inside hand and replacing our outside left hand, in my case, on the floor, like slightly next to your body. So just make sure you have space because you'll have to go through. Now, first to test the engagement that I want to have is I think about pushing my hand down and pushing my pole hand as well. It's like a slight pull, but also pushing down into the floor. Because my goal is to lift my knees off the ground. So I push and I try to lift my knees. So let me turn once like this so you can see me from the side. So when I do this push-pull motion and I lift my knees off. So it's very similar to when you try to have both hands on the floor and you shift and you lift those knees and your feet are still on the floor, of course. They don't have to lift off in this first variation at all, okay? Now, once you can lift off your knees and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Now what we want is to bring our feet forward. So what I want as a next step is this, to come through, okay? To do this, I need to be able to take weight off my legs enough to slide through. Because if you obviously keep your body weight on your feet, that you have too much pressure into the floor and you won't be able to go forwards. So think about, again, making yourself as light as possible in your legs, lifting those knees off, and then sliding the feet in front. So just a little bit in front of the pole, and I will place my inside right leg down. So lean, make sure your upper body is lifted, start to push, pull, lift the knees off, slide through, step the inside right leg down, and now your weight is back in your foot, and extend the outside leg. In the beginning, it's okay if you bring your stiletto down. If you want to have a lighter look, then try if you can stay off the stiletto and point through your shoe. Okay, so that is one of the first steps how you can approach this, is really trying to just, and I say just not because it's easy, but thinking about lifting those knees off and taking just enough weight off so you can go forwards, all right? Once this works, and this is already a really cool move to do, it doesn't have to be anything more than that, but once you want to take it to the next step and add a little jump, we're gonna have this jump before we push through. So the first step into the jump would be to have jump and slide. Now, to get the feeling of, one, getting height into this little jump, but then also to right away slide through after you landed, to keep this transition as flowy as possible. Now, if you see me from the side, let me turn around so you can see my feet a bit better. What I do to jump, that's basically the same thing we've done before, which is lifting the knees off the ground, basically extending our legs, but in a more faster way, more dynamic. So what happens is, if you look at it in slow motion, is this. But when I do this fast, I jump. So I push, pull, and I come back down. And when I do this, as you can see, my landing is not very hard because I use my arms to push, pull when I go up, and of course, the strength from my legs. So I need to extend fast and push off the ground. Yeah, so that's also a very good first option to try. And then you want to add this push-pull motion to land as well, because when I come down, I don't just relax and let everything drop down. I still push and pull. So your work is only done once you're back on the floor. Before, you don't stop pushing and pulling. So one more time. From here, you are a bit behind the pole. Hands are in front of you. Now from here, if you want to try to jump and just get the feeling for it, make sure you shift that weight into your arms. Now use your legs actively and dynamically to extend. Try to imagine you have very angry neighbors below you. Maybe you do. And so make it slow and try to make it as soft as possible to come down. And once this jump works, you can go up, slowly down. Try to add the slide. So up, down, and right away through. So that will be the same move as we just done before, but basically connecting one with the other, okay? Now, I'm gonna show you the last version, which is the jump with open legs. For this one, you have to be able already to jump and feel comfortable in getting your hip high. Because if you see me from the side, when I jump, if your butt only goes about this high, you won't be able to have time to open the legs and bring them back together. It's just about timing. So I need to make sure that when I jump, I feel comfortable enough to jump as high that my hip is the highest thing of my body at this point. Yeah, so you should be able to get all the way here. As you can already see, when I start to jump and I go higher, my legs tend to start to open. And that's what we're gonna do. When we try to go into this higher jump, once I jumped off the floor, I'm gonna open my legs to the side. So thinking about opening my legs over before I bring them back down. It's gonna look like this. I jump, I open, and I land back to the floor. So same thing here. First, practice the jump up and down in the way you want. And again, trying to maybe open the legs and control the landing. Don't let yourself drop down, slowly down. And then we're gonna push through. So one more time, just to jump. And same thing, shifting the weight over here. We're going to jump and slowly land. And if you want to connect it with the actual slide, going to jump, slide through, and into this position. Now, first, don't worry too much about where to look. Easiest is actually for the jump to look down, because then it makes more sense for the butt to go up, because you're not starting to do this, okay? But once it works, just as from a performing kind of way, you would like to try to look forwards, okay? Then you would like to look to the camera or audience or wherever you want to look and try to do the same thing without losing the gaze. But that would be the very last thing to add, because again, it just doesn't make it easier to go high enough, okay? Now, choose one of those for now. We end it in front or like next to the pole. Right leg is on the floor. Right hand is changed from a cup grip to a true grip. Left leg is outside. From here, we're gonna now add a little thread to lay on our back. So make sure that this foot is not way too close to the pole, so when you push through, that you have a little bit of distance. Yes, because now we need to bend this outside leg, thread it through the hole just on the knee. Yes, the shin is down, the leg doesn't have to extend. And then my weight is now on my pushing left arm and my left shin, so I can bring this right foot out, away, start to sit down on my left butt cheek and turn, so I'm right next to the pole, and from here, I would lay down. One more time. So we're gonna do it without the jump, so just forwards, we have the push-pull, step through, extend. Now make sure you shift that weight on your right foot first, so you can slide that left through, push with your arm, shift the weight onto the shin, so you now can bring the weight off your right, sink into your butt cheek and start to turn, and now you're basically on your back. All right? From here, to finish off, once you go all the way down, we're going to lift the leg slightly up. Now, my goal is to hook my knee into the pole. Depending where you are, you might have to lift your butt a little bit off the ground. So if you are here, you might have to lift to hook, but just make sure, especially you have grip, so if you don't wear leggings and just pole feels grippy, that you don't go too high, otherwise you get stuck. So I want to hook that inside knee, and with hook, in this case, I mean just bend it. You don't have to squeeze at all. Now, the leg which is free, my left leg in this case, is going to circle around. So think of a circle. Think of a geometry, yes, like a circle is not a triangle. We're gonna move the leg over the side, down and around. And once we do that, we also grab, same side as knee is hooked, so right in my case, to grab the pole and help us pull up. So circle motion and lift. So we're now on both butt cheeks nearly. We're going to switch towards the left, bring that right leg back. So we're now sitting on the left bum cheek, right leg is extended, left hand is pushing, okay? One more time. So one more time from sitting, very elegant transition. Bored with it. So from here, again, You can use this hand a little bit. If you need to lift, hook, don't squeeze. Circle motion, so you can sit, switch on your other butt cheek, bring that leg back. Now, once we're here to do that final transition to stand, you can either, depending on your flexibility, go down on your forearm. You can bend that back leg. I have my hand in up grip, pull it past the pole, just so you can close it together. If it works, you can also even try to keep it stay upright to pull the leg straight past. Again, that is something you just have to adjust with what you feel is comfortable for you at this moment. So you can lean more back, bend it, pull it more over. Just have to end here. So we can now turn on our knees, grab the pole, hips high, pull, push, pull feet in, and come to stand and keep moving with your own movements or ending here. Okay? Let's do everything from the start. Yes, so the whole combination slowly from the start, just to keep everything together, because I think the standing up should be quite good. So from the beginning, we stand behind the pole. Your hands are not too high, remember, because we have to sit down. So we go into the squat. We're going to jump, pull with the arms, tuck, and slowly down, release your hands. From here, we're going to lift a bit up so we can close the knees, turn our butt and our feet towards the left, open the left leg to the side. Yes, and again, you can make this a bit more dancey, obviously doing with music. And then close the left knee again to the right, find yourself into the center and sit down. When you didn't see me in the little dancing moment, I used my head at this point, so I like to kind of like make this a bit more dancey, but that's all up to you and your style. Now, from here, we're gonna switch. You're gonna choose your version. Yes, I'm just gonna do the basic one for now. So I'm gonna push, pull, do a jump or don't jump, through, step on the right, left extends. Now, keep the weight on that right foot so you can move the left. As soon as you shift, the switches onto the left shin and the right is light. You can even move your right hand up, sit in, turn to sit and lie down. From here, lift the legs, hook the knee, circle motion, sit, turn on your side and choose. You can go all the way down, bring that leg past, turn on your knees, turn to the pole, hips high, go into your push-pull position, pull the feet in, push them into the floor to stand. Yes? So that's the whole flow of this first combination. So now you can take some minutes if you want to practice, and then we'll continue with the second combo. Let's start with combination number 2. And for that one, we're gonna start behind the pole, but left-hand side. If you are, again, I'm a right-hand dominant, so that's the way I choose to start. But these combos are versatile. You can do them on both sides. It's actually a good thing to practice, so keep it in mind. And for that, we're going to start with outside hand in a handshake grip. My weight is at the moment on my outside right leg, so I can then make a step with my inside leg, which is my left, to the front. My inside left hand is holding on as well, handshake grip, just to have a little bit of a push-pull moment to help me stabilize when I step on my tiptoes, and then I will turn. So you feel free to use your hands actively. Now, again, once we start with the inside step, make sure it's close enough to the base of the pole. We're going to turn on that foot. So we're going to face the pole of our belly button. Now my right leg is lifted behind me. I'm going to, from this bent position, I'm going to drop it down so the knee turns to the floor. My foot wants to extend towards the base of the pole to come slightly up in this straddle. Now, when you do this, your leg constantly stays in an internal rotation, which means the knee is turning inside, yes, and you want to show off the butt. So from the lifted leg position, again here, even if your knee is open here, we're going to drop the knee down, yes, show the side of your leg, and then draw the shoe past the pole. But even if I'm lifting my leg here, see how I'm showing off my booty? Yes, I want to turn that leg inside so you can see the back of my knee. Because from there, what we're going to do is a little leg rotation. Now, how high you lift the leg is up to you. I recommend to rather not go too high when you do this circle motion, because if you go too high, you're not going to be able to have a nice leg rotation movement. So from this internal rotation, bending the leg, and then starting to lift up and ending up in this figure 4, okay? If you lift your leg in a height where you feel incapable of keeping the leg inside, it's not going to work and it's not going to have this swirly look, okay? So just rather keep it a bit lower, and with time you can lift it higher. Let's do it one more time from the step, just to keep the flow. Right hand on top, left hand down, weight is on my right leg. I will make a step with my inside leg. I'm going to turn, lift my right leg up, lean with my upper body forward slightly, bring the leg down, internal rotation slightly up, and then from here again, keep it down, bend it, and once I fully bend, that's when I lift my upper body up, and I end up in this figure 4 position. Now from here, we're going to add a small pirouette motion. So I'm just going to switch my bottom hand, and on top, I'm going to face the back of my hand, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up to keep the balance. So we can now hook that inside knee into the pole. One more time. So let's start from here. We're going to bring the leg down, internal rotation, lift, bend, and once you fully bend it, that's when you lift your upper body up into the figure 4 external rotation. Now switch your hands. Remember to push actively up to keep the balance. Think about reaching to the ceiling, and then you can hook that inside knee. Now, the next movement, and that's the last move of this combination, is the more technical part now. And with this one, I also will show you different variations. So we're going to start step by step, and then you can go as far for today as you feel like it. Now, the first option looks like this. I'm going to open from here. I will slide my left foot and sink down on my knees. Okay, so this way you have full control over your legs because you can use your arms very well and everything is super controlled and you don't have to be afraid of the dropping at all. Let me show you this hand position. So once you've done the knee hook, yes, you're still on tiptoes of your standing leg. Your inside right arm wants to be extended. It doesn't have to be super high though, but make sure it's straight so that now left hand is still also on the pole and handshake grip. I'm going to turn, keep that right leg behind me, yes, but now use my arms to move that left leg over. And now you can make a circle motion if you want and bring it through the hole to slide down on your knees. That is the most slow version and controlled version you can do, but it really helps to understand the directions your body wants to move. Because we turn from the sideways position. We're going to turn our back to the pole, back, sliding the foot over, starting going diagonally, and then turning again belly to the pole. And that will stay the same with all of the variations, okay? So if that makes sense, you can go with the next step. For the next step, we are not holding on with 2 hands here, but we're going to move our left hand behind us. So when I'm here, I'm opening my chest. I'm going to lean against the pole. My left hand will grab behind me and down. Now make sure here that my shoulder is still attached to the pole. So you don't want to have like air between you and the pole. You want to have all of your skin against it. Now again, use your push-pull. Slide the foot or lift the foot over. And then it's the same thing here. Right leg through and the hole. And then you can slide down to your knees. Yes. So it's the same movement that happens. And even with now lifting your foot over, you can still have some pressure with that foot and control your weight down. Let's do it one more time like this, and then we're gonna look at the more droppy version. So from here, from the knee hook, yes, release, open the chest, grab the pole, pull and push, slide the foot over, and you can lose height, that's fine. Bring that right leg around, through the hole, and control your way down to the floor. Okay? Now, once this makes sense, we try now to have this aerial version where we don't slide the foot over anymore, but lift it into the air. This means a bit more understanding of where your legs have to move and where your body has to move, because you don't really have time to think about that, as it's not as slow motion anymore. Let me show you what I mean. So from here, what we're doing is we're going to open, and we're going to swing, turn, and land on our knees. So we're going to have a bit less of a circle motion, but the directions are still the same. Yes, I still want to have this diagonal movement to turn with my body again towards the pole-ish, yes, when I land. So let's try this. You are still in the knee hook, same thing. Right arm, nice up and extended so we can engage through the shoulder. We're going to open and grab behind us. Now, what we need is now arm grip, yes? So I want you to be able to lift your foot off here with your hands. Now what we do is our right leg will swing towards the side, while again the left leg, instead of moving its way over too, is actually lifting off the ground. So I'm just bending it. Okay, so from this, the right leg is momentum leg, so it wants to go side and under. Think about the threading through the whole part. So from here, you have to swing, lift, and then it's a turn towards the pole. And again, this one you can't really do slow motion. So it's already important that you understand that movement pathway to have this feeling of, okay, turn diagonally out and turn back towards the pole. If it doesn't make sense or you're like confused about direction, go a step back and really go back to the more controlled version where you slide your foot. And just think about how, when you're here, you open, yes, this traveling of this leg. Yes, and you can also make it a bit more droppy this time to make it maybe more like close to the actual drop version in the end. Okay, but those steps are super important to understand to make it then more dynamic and, you know, don't have time to think about it. So let's do it once together one more time from the start, which means from our step. So we're starting on the left-hand side of the pole, if your right arm dominant, of course, otherwise the other side. And I'm going to make a step on my inside left leg. My hands are in a split grip. I'm going to turn my body in, internal rotation, lift, bend the leg into external rotation, so figure 4, pirouette to hook the knee. From here, you can even have a little touch forwards, how you want. Just make sure you maybe slide your hand a bit up again. Turn, I'm gonna go for the faster version. Turn and drop to the floor. Yes? Now, just one more thing. When you land, it's not your knees landing first. You can't see that as much, but when I land first with my feet, and then my knees are coming last. So make sure you engage your feet all the time when you do these movements. Not only the controlled one, there of course, you feel how you push, but also keep those feet pointed when you go into more dynamic version, just when you land, that it's soft. It shouldn't be actually hard on your knees. I don't feel really at all because I have my knee pads on, but also my landing is very like softened when I go through that. Let's do it one last time, and then we go to the last one. So from the step, with the inside leg, step, rotating inside, extending, lifting, internal rotation to external rotation, keep turning, hooking the knee, and rotating backwards. Choose your version, turn, land with the feet first, and gently on the knees. That is the second combination. Practice it for yourself as often as you like to, and then we would move on to combination number 3. All right, let's go to the third and last combination of this tutorial. And for this one, we're gonna start on the side of the pole. In this case, it's my right side. And facing the pole right away. I'm going to initiate the first movement with a leg wave. So try to go all the way up on your tiptoes, engaging through your calves and your feet. And we're going to make a leg wave with the inside leg. Now, hold on to the pole with your inside right hand on top, left hand on the bottom, so the outside hand, because we're going to have to use the hands this way right away after anyway. So it's already perfect to have them at the start here. So again, leg wave back. So bring your leg back straight, bend it, bring it forwards to hook the knee into the pole. Yes, so straight back, bending, forwards, and hook. Now, for this movement, make sure you now slide both hands higher because we're gonna have a pull motion to get up, but also use our hips to go forwards and thinking of kicking our butt with your feet. So what do I mean? I'm gonna try to do it super slow so you can see. I'm going to pull, I'm going to kick my butt with my outside foot, yes. And the next thing, once I kick my butt with that one, I'm going to unhook my inside leg and also kick my butt. So it looks like this. I'm going to kick, unhook, kick, and now you can see my body is facing the pole with the belly button. So I haven't done a lot of rotation yet. It's just about pulling, butt kick, and you should kind of be facing the pole. Let's do this one more time. So you hook your inside knee, inside hand is up, so right and right in my case. I am going to shift away a bit forwards. I'm going to kick left, kick right, and again I'm facing, and for now I can just come down. Once this kind of kicking motion makes sense, now we want to try to add a little bit more rotation because our goal is to end in our armpit, in our left armpit, if you start right on top. So here, if you can see, I'm starting here, sideways, and my goal is to end all the way here. So it's basically one turn where you switch your side. So from right armpit facing the pole, it's going to be to left armpit facing the pole. So to be able to add a bit more rotation, because we ended with our belly button facing, and we need this another 90 degrees rotation, it's important that you think about the turning around yourself while you kick your butt. So when you're here, yes, and you lift, you go 1, 2, turn, and think about where you want to end, which is your left side. Now, to make this a bit easier, you can step your left foot down as soon as you start to face the pole of your belly button, and then pivot on that foot until you are in your armpit. So what I mean with this is following. So we go up, bend, kick, step left down, keep turning, and then bring your left arm into the pole and the right foot down. Yeah, so this is the good way to understand the rotation. The goal, though, would be that you can try to get this rotation right away, all the way. So adding a little bit of momentum can help. So when you think where we're coming from the leg wave, as soon as I hook, I kind of pull and push my hip forward. So I'm using a bit more power to go in, which will help me to rotate around. So from this hooking, pulling, turning, see, it's much easier for me to end all the way on the side. Okay, one more time. So do it right away from your leg wave. So from the leg wave, bending, hooking, and kick, turn, and you can land with both feet at the same time and lean a little bit back to get your head past for the next step. Even if you don't get all the way around right now, it doesn't matter. Once you understand and your body goes with a little bit more momentum, it will be much easier. So don't waste too much energy doing it like 50 times. As long as you get to this position, that's absolutely fine. For our next step, we stepped our feet down, and now it's this little last flip motion. And with flip, it looks like a flip, but it's a very controlled position. Let me show you what I did. So from here, I turn, and I end on my knees. Now, what you want to consider, the landing, you can control it. That one was a little bit more bangy because I wanted it to, but you can try to make it as soft as possible. So if you have neighbors or you don't want to go as bangy, you can really control it with your arms. Now let me make you understand how the body is rotating. Remember, we're here, we're in the side. Our head is looking already over our shoulder of our inside left arm. Now what you need to do from here is you have to lift your legs off and bend them. And that's not the swinging yet. So this is just the lift, okay? So no swinging yet. Because if you swing back, the weight or the energy goes this way, but we need to go up. So it's basically working against it. So just try to only lift, but not swing. Now, once we lifted the legs, we're going to tuck ourselves into a little pull-up crunch. Yes? So from here, I want to go up. So I want to tuck into a little ball. And you can see how my body is slightly even turning more with the belly button towards the pull. Okay? So again, we're here. We're going to pull, lift, tuck, okay? So knees in, and also when my knees go up, I have a little moment where I kick my butt again. So it's up and kick. And when I do this, so as soon as my knees come up and I kick, that's when I turn all the way and land on the floor. So one more time, from bend, kick, butt, and control your way down to the floor. And you can see my arms never change. I'm always in this double handshake grip. I pull, and through that pulling, and again, I'm leaning sideways, right? So you don't have to worry about hitting the pole. You're leaning to the side. You can control your landing and make it as soft as possible. Or if you want to bang, you can bang it into the floor. Just be careful of your toes. Let's look at that from the start. Yes, so from our leg wave, so you're standing next to your pole. Right hand, if it's your dominant, yes, on top. My outside left hand is down. I'm going to leg wave, hook the knee, slide the hands a bit higher. Now shift your hips, kick 1, 2, keep turning, ending on your feet from here. Lift, crunch, kick, and control your way down. Again, feet first, then knees to the floor. Now, once this works, and just an idea of what you can try as a harder option, is you can try to skip the actual bringing the feet down. So this would just be something to make the movement a bit more seamless, and at the same time, a bit more, obviously it's going to be more difficult because you have to lift the whole time. So what I mean with this is from the actual twizzle here, I'm going to kick, stay in the air, right away bend, lift, kick, and do the exact same thing as before. So your goal is here to, when you turn, to end up in your armpit position, still with both feet off the ground, to then do right away the bending and into our last little pull-up crunch, turn, flip, whatever you want to call it. Yes? So one more time. From our leg wave, into the knee, hands high, pull, kick, stay high, extend, bend, and swing, kick, and slowly down. Yes? You don't have to do that as long as, I would really just try it once. The first version feels quite easy, because if you feel like that your flip or your turn loses height, yes, you don't lift your knees as high anymore, you don't have that nice turn anymore because you find it hard strength-wise to pull up, I would recommend to step down, because you can just make it just as pretty when you step down. So if you end in your standing, think you can even add like an arm movement before you keep going into the flip. So it's all about how you do something, not exactly what you do, okay? So let's do it one last time together, and then that is it. So from our leg wave, back to hook, knee, pull, kick, and bend, up, and slowly, and control your way down. That was the last combination of this tutorial. Feel free to go over it as often as you like, put it into your own music, change it up the way you want to, and I hope you enjoyed it, and have fun training them.